What's up, guys? A quick double review here. It's a shame that when the Bruins start to turn it on is when I have the least amount of time to record these recaps, but we'll go through both games as quickly as possible. So first up, on Friday, the Bruins win 4-1 over the Buffalo Sabres. A nice bit of revenge, a solid game for Gustafsson. They give up the first goal towards the end of the first period, but in the second, Matt Bolesky gets a goal. Chara, Spooner add goals in the third period, and then of all people, Brett Connolly gets a goal. I don't give a fuck that it was an empty netter. Brett Connolly scored a goal. And again, I've said in the past, oh, hey, the Bruins traded a second-round pick for him. I say that because it hurts so much to say that they actually traded 2 second-round picks for the guy, when really right now, from what we've seen of him this season, despite this being his 6th goal, he looks more like Danny Paille than a David Krejci type. He looks more like that fourth-line guy who's a good energy guy, can contribute some goals, has some decent speed, decent defense. He really looks like he's going to be Danny Paille. Of course, Danny Paille was also a high draft pick, going 20th overall to the Sabres in 2002. So it still stings to see them give up 2 second-round picks for Connolly, but I'm happy to see him get the goal in this game. And really, this game was about Chara's resurgence. He had a much better game, including, of course, getting the goal. And Ryan Spooner continues to make up for the absence of David Krejci. Coming into this particular game, he could have been on 13 different teams. He would have been that team's leading scorer. So he's had a hell of a season now. After this Buffalo game, 10 goals, 23 assists for Ryan Spooner. So that's really the big thing to notice now, is when David Krejci comes back and Spooner drops back down to the third line, who is he going to be playing with? Are you going to have to acquire somebody? You can't just play him with a Max Talbot type. You need skill guys with Ryan Spooner, because he is turning into a true skill guy. So a great game for him. Matt Bolesky, of course, like I said, getting a goal, getting an assist. Still love Matt Bolesky. And of course, Gustafsson holding it down, doing what we need him to do as a backup. As I've said time and time again, 33 of 34 stopped. Well done by him, shutting them down in the last 2 periods. And to be honest, because it's a little bit depressing, I'm just going to breeze over the David Pastrnak injury. But we jump into the second game, Saturday night against Toronto. Only one lineup change. Colin Miller gets scratched in favor of Joe Morrow, who didn't have the greatest game, particularly on Toronto's first goal. But 45 seconds into the game, Patrice Bergeron gets a goal off a terrible line change by Toronto. Jonathan Bernier has a hell of a tendency of letting up the first shot he faces in a game. This one absolutely not his fault. Bergeron 16th of the year, but as I said, just 4 minutes later, Leo Komarov would get a goal. He's been a monster for Toronto all season, and really kind of Joe Morrow's fault. But in the second period, the Bruins would rebound nicely. Patrice Bergeron gets another early goal 39 seconds into the period for his 17th. Sean Matthias, though, in the second period, Zdeno Chara tripped along the sideboards. It's ignored. Tyler Bozak finds Sean Matthias. Beautiful pass, beautiful goal. Shouldn't have counted, at least in my opinion, but they tie it up at that point. Third period, Brad Marchand gets a goal rightly waved off. It was offsides, as much as that sucks to say, but he would get the last laugh. Tuukka Rask goes out to play the puck, fucks it up. Torrey Krug a la Michael Ryder, except this time, this is probably even better. Obviously not as big of a situation because Ryder was in the playoffs, but full butterfly save for Torrey Krug. The Bruins go down the other way. Jonathan Bernier plays it behind the net, turns it over to Brad Marchand for the goal. His 16th of the year. Poetic justice. Bruins win this one as well. This game really kind of capped off. Had they lost, it would have been more about, wow, 5 power play opportunities for Toronto, only 1 for Boston. Jack Edwards said it on the broadcast, and whether or not you like Jack Edwards or not, you can't help but agree with this statement. At least the Bruins don't dive. Still 29th in total power plays while still having the league's best power play. I'm not going to go all John Scott on this one. It is obviously just a coincidence with a little bit of bad officiating in terms of the Bruins not getting the power play chances, but they go 2 for 2 here in these back-to-back games. And again, a good resurgence for Chara. Kevin Miller looked all right in these past 2 games. Frankie Vetrano continues to be invisible. I'm not sure how much longer he'll be sticking around on the team. He just barely got more ice time than Zach Ronaldo, so that really shows you just how invisible he has been lately. But the Bruins finally take advantage of this nice 4-point surge, puts them in 3rd place in the Atlantic Division. They finally passed Montreal, stuck at 50 points, the Bruins at 51, and a game at hand. Tampa's right there, though. Again, I've talked about it in the last episode, just how tight the Atlantic Division is. They need to continue this, but so far, so good. We'll see what happens next. Obviously, it's Montreal. That is a gigantic game. Bruins are 2 points behind Detroit and 6 points behind Florida. So this Montreal game is huge. Whether or not, I mean, I want to be optimistic, but what happened the last time the Bruins went in to a game against Montreal coming off of a strong win? It was the Winter Classic. It wasn't that long ago. You haven't forgotten already. Trust me, I know. I want to put that out of my memory too, but at least in the Toronto game, the Bruins got a win in the Winter Classic jersey. So that jersey, you don't have to burn it anymore. If you already did, hey, I don't blame you, but at least you know they got a win in that uniform. But that is it for now, guys. Again, hopefully these double reviews don't become a trend, but between Bruins games, Patriot games, NFL playoff games in general, the Green Bay-Arizona game was nuts, and between watching Liverpool lose on early Sunday morning, time's been a little bit difficult to find in terms of not actually just watching sports. But I will see you again on Tuesday or Wednesday after the Montreal game. It depends. If it's an absolute shit show, I'll probably record Tuesday night.